top 5 coaches that I think need more time. Give them a little bit. Don't turn the hot seat up on them unless it really just hits the wall embarrassingly. Then you may have to. But these are guys I think that, let them see what they've got, considering that they are building out of something that was different. Number 5, and I know there's a lot of West Virginia fans who will not agree with me, but now that he's got Graham Harrell in tow, I think you need to give Neil Brown let Graham Harrell have 2 seasons and not just 1.
God, we have some great West Virginia fans who watch this show.
But West Virginia fans are not at all sold on Neil Brown. But I think if Graham Harrell can help and they show some progress here this year, let him have another year, even if it may not be what you want. But the quarterback play has been a big problem. Maybe JT Daniels solves that. But I'd like to see Neil Brown get another year after this. But again, I'm not a West Virginia fan, and I'm not in that room. So.
I'm a big Neil Brown fan, but what do you constitute as deserving another year?
I would say 7-5 gets him another year to me.
A bowl game?
Yeah, a bowl game gets him another year to me. But
all right, but I'm with you. I think he's a good coach. I have no idea what their identity is supposed to be. I have no idea what West Virginia football's about. Other than just stuff that I basically picked up over the years, whether Holgerson was the coach or any other number of people. So I feel kind of need to know what's that look like 5 years from now if he sticks around.
Yeah.
And if they win 7 games, that'd be 5, 6, 6, 7. His first 4 years. So if that's enough for you to go he's clearly going to break through here soon, then I'm all with it. But yeah, I think he's got to show a little something this year, because just making a bowl game, and barely doing it at that is not going to cut it up there. But I do like Neil Brown, so I'm not rooting for his demise by any means, but I think he's got a little show a little oomph. And not just, make a bowl game.
Yeah. Number 4, Jedd Fisch from Arizona. Look, this is a team that has been mired in a long time. And if they don't show something right away, plus everything that's going on in Arizona and the Pac-12 right now, I think that you just need to stay the course and let things build here. Not to, throw the baby out with the bathwater and be like, I got to start over again, because that's just going to get you in a cycle that you're never going to get out of a new coach every 2 or 3 years, a new coach every 2 or 3 years. If you like this guy, let him actually recruit to that university. Let him adjust to what's going to be the new reality in the Pac-12 that he's going to have to, because now, LA cannot be as big of a selling point as it once was here in a couple years, especially with the classes he'll be recruiting. Let him find that footing recruiting-wise. And here's the other thing. Your rival school across the state, Arizona State, is probably going to have to fire their coach and athletic director at the end of this year. So you have a chance to have some continuity while they're rebooting.
They're just both out there.
Yeah.
Herm Edwards brought a little smoke, a little zip to Arizona State. And then, of course, there was the dark cloud about what happened during the COVID year. But, man, those 2 schools are just out there.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're a part of the Big 12 in the future. But
I don't really – I don't know. I'm cool with it if they are. I'd rather have Arizona than Arizona State, just given the state of Arizona State's football program. And I realize that Arizona went 1-11 last year. But, they, at least to my knowledge, don't have all the extracurricular, issues that Arizona State's still going to have to answer for. He can't, I'm with you, Paul. He needs time to grow, but you can't go 1-11 again.
No,
you can't go 2-10. You got to show some. I'm not saying you got to make a bowl game either, but you can't go 1-11 again, because there's got to be some type of growth there. So yeah, barring something along those lines, or even like a 2-10, to where it's just there's just not really even a pulse there. I'm with you. I think you got to give him some time to kind of clear the air and establish himself. But, yeah, you got a little bit of a slippery slope.
Win a game or 2 you're not supposed to win, which, of course, would be twice as many as last year.
Yeah. Number 3, Jeff Scott at USF. This is a guy who, if you look at Coach's Hot Seat website, is always there at the top. But I do think that might be a little unfair given what he stepped into. There's been, 2 coaches between him and Willie Taggart, which was their last big wave of success. He just got Gary Bohannon in at quarterback. like he's got some stability there. They're trying to get a new stadium. I get like if they really fall on their face because they're trying to get that new stadium finally built, on campus or at least a lot closer to the campus than Raymond James is. I get it, but this is a guy who was at Clemson before and is a great offensive mind. He'd be an offensive coordinator again in 2 seconds. I would say let him maybe grow into his head coaching chops a little bit
How
more.
many years does Bohannon have left?
2.
There you go. Okay, well, that if they can have some traction, and then you have him coming back, that won't hurt.
Yeah, I think it's 2. I mean, shoot, he could be playing 5 years from now and have like a bunch of hardships for all we know, like with the way it is, and not complaining. It's just that I have a hard time remembering who all's what eligibility at this stage.
I agree.
So yeah, I do think he has 2 remaining, which is great for the Bulls. But yeah, they need a little zazz. They need a little something there. Kind of like what they were sort of starting to experience not that long ago, really. And then, I don't know, was it with the Charlie Strong era, it kind of plateaued a little bit, and now it's just sort of there,
Who was the one that won there, Levitt?
Yeah, Jim
Levitt won and Willie won.
That's right.
Willie won.
Willie won all the way to 2 jobs in like 2 years, major college football jobs, Oregon and Florida State.
Yeah. Speaking of that, number 2, Mike Norvell. I've ridden a roller coaster with Mike Norvell. After the Jacksonville State game last year, I was as beside myself as I could possibly be. Not just because they lost, but for the explanation that he gave about we were worried about their timeout. There's 6 seconds left, man. If they can complete a 30-yard pass and get up and call timeout, then that's the fastest thing that's ever happened.
What's the lowest level with them? What do they have to win?
They have to win 6 or 7 games. They absolutely have to. They got to be in a bowl game. I think they have a good shot at winning 7, but their schedule's tough. I mean, I think that's the other thing that people need to realize, that they've got Clemson, Florida, Miami all on their schedule every single year. Louisville's in kind of a similar situation where that needs to be a big win, and they've got a really good quarterback. NC State's on their schedule. They have got some tough games.
That would have been LSU difficult back when they were really, really good. They'd win most all of them.
But if they can beat LSU in New Orleans in that first week, then their attitude will probably change because they'll actually be playing with some confidence. But I do think that people need to back off, because this was top-down administration-wise an absolute poo show at FSU that he came into. A poo show. And I will say that because this is supposed to be a clean show. But it was athletic director who was interim for 7 years, essentially, a president that was trying to retire, a booster club that was run like it was 1986. I mean, these are what he walked into there, and they're finally correcting these issues. And sometimes it's not about the knowledge of the guy. You've got really smart coaches who've been completely screwed over because the place they decided to take a job was just a dumpster fire.
So they did all that in less than 10 years? Went from national title with Jimbo to dumpster fire that quickly, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what to think on Norvell. I know this is the least amount of juice that Florida State's probably had in my entire life as far as the program goes. And so that, I mean, we're going 30 plus years of Florida State being, part of the big conversation, and they just don't really feel that way right now. So that's part of the build down to, or the breakdown to build up, and he's doing some of that. By the way, going back to USF for a second, their opener, BYU, they got Florida on the road in week 3, at Louisville in week 4, and at Cincinnati in week 6. So good luck, Bulls and Gary Bohannon, with that first 6 weeks of the season. It's going to be tough. But yeah, I mean, Norvell seems like he's definitely on the hot seat, but to what extent? I mean, you know better, and I don't know enough.
He is. And it does not help that one of the most famous alums,
Dion,
if not the most famous alum, is stealing recruits for them at Jackson State. It does not help. And, whether Dion can coach at that level, which who knows?
Okay, shouldn't. I love what Dion's doing at Jackson State. I love some of the little TV things he does or in the camera. They can't let him do that. He just can't.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah.
Do what?
Steal recruits.
He's done a remarkable job. He's given that program more attention than since Walter Payton was there.
I say steal recruits. That's not but I mean, like, nab them.
He's
mean,
doing
like,
his job. Yeah,
doing his job. Like, convincing the number one recruit in the country who was going to be the guy who had to flip the attitude. And number one, the ultimate wait and see guy. And I think he probably has this. Leipold.
There's no need to wait. This guy has to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I said, like, just let him. Like, people shouldn't get mad at, like, their ups and downs. He has stepped into what is a ground up situation.
And they're still trying to dig out from what they did at what was it, Mangino when he left and all that. This guy should get 10 years if he needs it.
Yeah, they had a couple coaches that the national media slobbered all over and fell over themselves to go and cover that basically turned it into a dumpster fire. Yeah. But Lance Leipold is a terrific coach. I think, the longer he sticks around, the better and quicker Kansas will get better. I think that he's a great hire to have for them right now. My only question is how long can they actually keep him?
Yeah.
Because he could win 3 games and get like a major job based off of that because that's how bad Kansas has been, But I do think if somebody could turn it around and stick it out, it would be him. But I just think he's a really good football coach. There might be some others that come, barking, even if Kansas isn't knocking on the door of bowl eligibility anytime soon. So hope the Jayhawks can keep him around because I do think he's a hell of a football coach. And there are definitely at least some pulse. There was some pulse last year, which is the first time we've seen that in a while.
He's got something between his neck, in his neck. I like the way he's got that old school grind. That's probably, hopefully, they've tried everything else is what they need. Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Levi Caraway.